Booyakasha.
How many times does someone have to hang out with you before their farting in your presence is acceptable?
Well,
I don't think there's a number.
yeah, it just happens organically. But I would actually, I mean,
Like,
I
is
guess
there-
the sooner you rip off the Band-Aid, the better. I'm taking it literally. Yes.
So, like, as soon as you meet someone, my name's Tech. That's the worst you're gonna get out of me.
I mean, but then like if it's too early, you're gonna be known as the fart person, the shit person. Like,
Fart guy.
oh hey, fart guy, hey, it's you.
I will say it should never be.
How you say hello?
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like just there all the time. It's like I've known people that like every time you hang out with them, like you're gonna hear a couple. Like that's not. Nah, I don't like that. No, but you're talking about like as you get to know somebody, Caleb.
Well, how much do you need to get to know them before they fart and you just go nice, or they fart and you just ignore it like they didn't happen?
Pretty much.
If you see them once a month for a year, you're good.
You gotta see someone 12 times before they can fart in your presence, and you're not like, ugh.
So like, say you go to Starbucks once a month, right? And your barista just, hey Ben.
No, that's not hanging out. Why are we talking about hanging out with people behind the counter? That's strange. No,
Okay.
like let's break it down. Let's say you've met somebody and you meet at the coffee shop, but then like you're going to the park or you're going out to eat or they're coming over and playing video games or something. I think where do they start to become your friend, right? Like it's such a weird thing that nobody consciously thinks about. Like every like for you or Nate or whatever, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, it's been 15 years, right? But nobody thinks like, oh, it's been 1 year or it's been 6 months. Like nobody thinks like that. You know what I mean? So like,
sure.
there's no way to like, I don't know. Nobody meets somebody and goes, okay, timer starts now. In 1 year, you will be my friend. But I think after a year, like I think you might be their friend.
Well, I think
Roughly.
I think this is an how many times basically can someone disrespect you or make you feel or do something disgusting in front of you before you're like, fuck it, I can't deal with this anymore.
Okay, that's the other end of the prism.
Oh
okay.
yeah, that's the opposite end. How many
Yep.
times can someone fart in your presence before you're like, you got a problem?
Two.
2 times total?
You look at like if like
Two?
I'm gonna say
explains a
something
lot.
after two farts. Like,
Yeah, I'll be like, yo, all right, bro, stop.
And like they're
Yeah.
eating eggs for breakfast, like cheese eggs or some shit, and like just letting it rip, and it smells like sulfur. And like I have to love you for that to be okay. I have to literally love you for whatever reason, right? Like it has to be love. My
So
girlfriend.
you have
a
a frequency. You have a frequency. Like it can be 2 farts, but you have to fall in love with them first. So does that mean that you love Ben? Because I know he's farted in your presence twice.
Yeah, I love Ben.
No,
I've been knowing Ben for like 20 years.
Of course we do,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. But if it's like if you see them, if you meet them and hang out with them, nothing happens. The next time you hang out with them, they let one go, and then you don't see them for like 3 months. And the next time you see them,
Like
they
every
let one
time
go.
you see them, I'll be like, something's wrong. You need to change your diet or go see a specialist. If every time I see you,
man. Everybody farts, man.
I could tell you.
Don't count how many times you farted today, please.
No, like, but in front of other people, like, it's not that difficult.
It's
like,
not
it doesn't
difficult.
doesn't
I don't
happen
do it very often at
every time, right? But if it does, if that's a problem for you, yeah, you got something going on. You need to go see a specialist. Something's up.
High schoolers are nasty.
all. Why do you ask this
Yeah.
question?
Oh, I don't know, because I felt like asking that question. I felt like a
Interesting.
fun way to start a conversation
Interesting.
about the DCEU,
'Cause I
which
feel
is
like
cinematic farts.
they've
Just kidding.
they've been farting. They farted on us 8 times, 7 times. They've literally shit on us.
Are you still friends? Are you still friends with them, Tech? Or are
Yeah.
you
No, at
cautiously
this point, no. At this point, like
cautiously at a distance?
at this point, I don't want to be friends. Like I don't want to be friends. You have to show me that you can't fart on me anymore. Like, and everyone has to tell me
Right.
that you're not farting on me.
Right.
I wanted to say before we moved on, that's why I love watching Game Grumps for so long, the YouTube channel, because they know each other so well that you won't hear it on the mic, but they will fart while they're sitting on the couch playing video games together for like 6 to 8 hours, and they get so mad. They get so mad at each other.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about DCEU, and we're gonna give your
The
thoughts. Our
DCPU.
DCPU. Yes, because I think compared to everybody else we have conversations with, I think we're probably the least polarizing, right? I think everybody else is like, fuck that movie, or that movie's great. I don't know. I feel like over the years, we tend to just sort of ride the middle. You know, we always have something nice to say.
I know I'm very, like, Ben makes fun of me because I'm very forgiving of movies. Like,
No, you're not. You're very forgiving of DC movies.
I'm
Because
forgiving
I've
of
brought
most
up
movies.
Ad Astra, Atomic Blonde, and another movie recently, and you were like, "They're shit. They're awful. I won't hear anything about them. They're
Dude,
bad."
Ad Astra's trash, dude. It's like
There you go.
actual garbage, bro. Like, it's
What was
actual.
the one I
you
brought
called
up the other day?
You called Midsummer trash.
Midsummer is trash.
Midsummer's trash. See, I'm really forgiving about movies. He says.
Oh, Ben, you used to always say how like I like all movies. Like, there's not a movie I don't like, but like that's not true. It's never been true. I've always had strong opinions on certain movies. Like,
It's just strange which ones you give a pass. But I think you have I won't speak for you. Yeah, I will real quick. You have a forgiving attitude towards movies that don't take themselves seriously, like Rampage and 2012.
2012 and like any
Yeah.
what
Day
is
After
that,
Tomorrow.
Fast and Furious movie. Like,
Right.
I already know what it is. Like
Do we really need to put the glasses on and go critical?
yeah, like I don't
with
want.
with Fast 8.
Are you mad? You mad because Vin Diesel didn't deliver Shakespearean lines? Are you genuinely mad about that? No, he's not supposed to. He's supposed to grunt.
The second act didn't meet the.
Y'all trouncing me right now because I did write a movie review of Hobbs and Shaw and did talk about it like that. So I'm just gonna stay over here because I don't think
You
I've
wanted
ever
more
been
from
so...
you wanted more from Hobbs and Shaw? Like, you told me you wanted more?
No.
You know,
I
it's
didn't say
ironic
that.
because we're about to do deep dives in a bunch of movies that probably line up with Hobbs and Shaw.
Sure.
Do you think, with all the expectations, that it's on the same level playing field as a Fast and the Furious franchise movie? Like, can you really compare any of the
no.
DCEU to a Fast and the Furious movie?
No, because the Fast and Furious movies don't have competition. No one's like, this better be as good as blank. But DC movies are like, well, that Marvel movie, like they have
Okay.
instant and apparent competition.
I wanted
Whether or
to-
not that competition is warranted, which I know that's what you're about to say.
I want to make a rule for this conversation.
You can't compare them to the MCU.
No M words, dude.
Well, I
no-
think I have to step away from the podcast.
Because we're not talking about Marvel movies this episode. We're talking
But
about DCEU
They
movies.
they are fruit though, and they can be compared.
Not today though.
Okay.
Because we don't need. They don't need to tune into us for them to say, well, it's not as good as Avengers.
Right.
No shit.
Okay. So what if we say no one-to-one comparison in terms of like a movie being as good as a Marvel movie? But like, we've got to talk about how like it seems DC tried to escalate so it could compete.
The only way we can
Or
talk
that,
about
like-
Marvel is when we talk about Joss Whedon stepping into the Justice League.
That's it.
That's it. Other than that, that's it. Other than that, that's it.
That's okay.
That makes
That's
you
all right.
focus on the DC movie. Focus
It won't
on
be-
the DC movie.
I'm
It won't be
absolutely
that
gonna-
hard. It won't be that hard.
It won't be.
We'll be all right.
Most of my criticism is
All right, so get it out, right?
Based
Say it real
on-
quick. You have 30 seconds to get out your Marvel point.
okay. 30 things to get out my Marvel parts.
Go.
The DCEU scaled too much to try and compete with Marvel movies that had 10 years on them, and
Facts.
Accurate.
the Marvel Cinematic Universe has stories that are all tightly tied to each other, in so much as there are characters from other movies that you did not know would be in each movie that will end up in each movie. And the DCEU seems to be just a bowl of spaghetti where every noodle is part of the same dish but has no connection to the other noodles. It's just there. And that, I think, is why people have a hard time connecting to the DCEU, because Marvel's like, you should care about this guy because they're going to run into that chick. And then both of them are going to run into this group over here, and you're going to watch it all happen. And DCEU is like, Joker, is Batman in it? No. Is he gonna be in the next Batman? No. Or is there gonna be no?
Okay.
Then why is it called Joker?
30 seconds
No.
is up.
All
Did
right.
you get it all out? Did you get it all out? Because
Yeah, I got it.
You didn't say anything that no one's heard a million times with the DCU versus Marvel comparison.
All right, I'm sorry.
No. Because we all agree. That's the problem, right? On that point,
Okay, sure,
we all agree.
sure,
So
sure.
let's try to look at them as self-contained units that they are. All right.
All right.
All right. Starting off.
Starting off, Before we even get into the movies, movie by movie talk, overall, how do you feel?
Today's episode is sponsored. Oh, what?
How do you feel about DCEU movies overall? Ben, go.
Give it a letter grade.
The whole thing.
The whole thing, everything you got.
C plus or B minus.
Okay.
Depending on what day I'm having.
Okay.
Because they're structurally they're mostly fine. And there's a lot to be said about most. A lot of good things to be said about most of them, and they're fucking light years beyond our superhero movies from the 90s.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So, I'm also.
Wait, does that count? Should that count? I don't know if there's many movies that are still stuck in the 90s. Should that count?
I mean, like, okay,
no
but
one watched
look how
Star Wars and were like, man, this is so much better than 99 Star Wars. No one said that.
No,
So why
but
is
let's
it
look at
expected
sci-fi.
here?
Let's look at sci-fi.
Okay, go on.
Sci-fi has gone from Aliens, which is all practical sets, thriller. There's one alien on the ship. Sorry, Alien. There's one alien on the ship, and it's a thriller. That's sci-fi. It's hardcore sci-fi, but it's like it's all practical. It's small. It's personal.
Sure.
Pitch Black was very small and personal movie as well, right?
Yeah.
But now on the other end, you look at like Valerian or Star Wars or even Fifth Element had a huge scale, but that was anyway. It seems to be like a CG spectacle, right? So superhero movies have gone from everywhere from keeping it personal, like the Daredevil TV shows, to a huge CG spectacle, which is Endgame, right? So like, what's a personal story versus just throw a bunch of money at it and it works? It doesn't always work. Endgame just is a culmination of 20 years of hard work. But
Here we did it again.
right, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, if you look at the like Batman vs. Robin, or Batman and Robin, sorry, and Daredevil and movies from the 90s, like, you could pick those apart for hours. But when you compare that to Man of Steel,
It just feels like a really low bar to me. Like, a movie in 2012 wasn't as
no, it's
hard
not,
to
dude.
watch
Look
as
at
movies
the
from
first.
Let's not argue that. Let's not argue that.
Look at the first two Keaton Batmans. First Keaton Batman is almost a perfect movie.
Yeah.
You could watch it any day, every day, on a deserted island, and you'll still probably not find anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Batman Returns, penguins with rockets, it's pretty dumb. Batman killing people in
Oh,
the
you
sewers.
mean like in
pretty
the
dumb.
journey of DC movies, they went good to Joel Schumacher and now they're good again. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, even with the exception of maybe Suicide Squad, and we'll get there, most of the DC movies are better than the worst superhero movies from the past. And just comparing movies to movies, comparing superhero movies to superhero movies, they're better than the worst superhero movies out there. So when somebody says,
Sure.
like, Batman vs. Superman is complete, no, it's not, dude. Have you seen Daredevil? Right? You know, have you seen Spider-Man 3 or whatever?
Sure.
But like, yeah. So like, they're not that bad. And to wrap we spent way too much time on my summary.
we did.
But I do want to say that I don't care that they're dark. That seems to be one of people's main gripes. It's like, oh, it's just so dark, and you know, because
I personally hate that they keep trying to be funny.
Sure,
Like,
we're getting to that. We're getting to that.
Yeah, just let it be dark.
yeah.
All right, Caleb.
I'm okay with the dark.
Overall grade.
Sure.
Go real quick. Overall grade.
I'm gonna say C.
Okay.
Because C's average, and I haven't been blown away by any of them.
Okay. So not blown away by any. Okay. As a movie.
Did you see Wonder Woman?
Did you see it
No.
twice?
Ooh, he hasn't
right.
seen it.
Oh. If I gave it a grade, I would give it a C minus.
Wow.
It still passes, but it fail. It's like you're about to fail. Nah, yeah. Actually, I C minus is fair because I don't want to fail it, but I don't want to pass it. Right?
Yeah, it's able to dress for next week's game.
Yeah,
But it's got to keep its shit. It's got to get its shit together.
like you're watching all your minutes.
Exactly,
You're on minute
exactly.
restriction. So
Exactly.
some of them get better grades than others. We're going to grade all of them. So let's start it off. 2013, Man of Steel, Henry Cavill. How did you feel about it?
For a starter, and also as someone who did not have anything but like stupid feelings about Kal-El, Man of Steel got me. I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
DC's gonna do something. Man of Steel is. I watched it again recently. To this day, solid movie.
It's a
very
solid. It's a
I
solid
like that movie
movie.
a lot.
Yep. A lot of good superhero moments. The kid standing in the front yard with the red, the red towel around his neck. Just a lot of good Zack Snyder.
It's a good visual movie.
Freeze frame moments. Yeah.
It was a good visual movie. I felt like
Yep.
I love how dark it was. I loved Henry Cavill. Like he is my Superman.
He's not mine, but I appreciate him.
Who is your Superman? If he's
Brandon
not?
Routh.
Oh God.
No, I only like Brandon Routh because he felt so much like Reeves to me. You know what I mean? It was a nice nod. Reeves was not my Superman either, because I read comics.
Who's your Superman?
I don't know in real world, to be honest.
Well, you got Routh, Reeves, and Cavill to choose from.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always pictured him just more like I always pictured him much bigger, to be honest. Almost like Affleck's Batman, like bigger, like a big guy. Just a big and round, like the cartoons.
Have you seen Henry Cavill?
Right.
Cavill's very
massive. He's way bigger than Roth.
Yeah. Like I said, I only like Ralph because he felt like a nice handoff from Reeves. It felt like a tip. Like, of course, Singer was tipping his hat to Reeves. Of course.
I liked how I liked the angle of this guy's an alien and he feels like an alien, and it's like he was like, this is the first time we've seen Superman who wasn't like a nerdy kid from Kansas. Like he was like,
kind of a force to be reckoned with. He was a force of nature.
Stealing clothes. He's unsure of himself. He's like, he's unsure of his own powers. Like the way they broke down this Superman probably was the most in depth as far as the personality that they've ever done.
Oh, the fact that his dad who made him let him die just so he wouldn't give away who he was.
I call
what he could do.
That is illogical. Everything about and I think that's a theme that I have a problem with the DCEU movies is the illogical aspects of it. That was illogical. Like that didn't make sense.
There's no way his dad trained him so well to be who he is as a man that he would just let his father die in a tornado. He wouldn't just like.
I don't know, man. For me, it spoke differently because like he saves that bus full of kids that he's in that goes off that bridge.
Yeah.
And they have to like move schools and like change what they're doing.
No,
and then he has that conversation with
they didn't move schools.
No,
they did not move schools. Peep game and how the dude at the Denny's knew who he was. Like when the three aliens, Zod and sent the other people to Smallville, the guy in Denny's, they whole town were protecting Clark Kent. They knew he was Superman. And that's another thing that I liked about this movie.
Yeah.
You feel me, Ben? Because you remember that part, right? Like the big guy with the glasses who was one of the students, one of his classmates. They knew he was Superman.
Right.
That was dope as fuck too, because like they're protecting this small town kid.
I don't know. For some reason, like I'd never thought of Superman having to hide who he was, be it good or bad, and whether he was good or bad at it. But the conversation he had with his dad, where he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do next time? Let him die?" And he goes, "Maybe." Yeah. Like that shit was.
That was dope.
Damn, I was like, okay.
That was dope.
And if that's how he thought, it would make sense later for him to be in a situation to be saved, and like years of a conversation we only got to see once, being instilled in Clark, and his dad just shaking his head and going, "Nah."
That was so stupid, dude.
I would like to see him racked with guilt for that over the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Maybe they planned on it. We just didn't get it, but
sure.
What else did I like about it? I loved Zod.
Whoosh.
Man, Michael Shannon is normally such a. I mean, he's almost always a bad guy, but normally he's not as imposing. Normally he's not as imposing. Even in like Knives Out, he's kind of he's kind of feeble. He kind of that guy.
You know why? He's a good actor. Like he can do.
Yeah, he's real good. He's real good.
He can sell it. He sells it. He sells Zod.
He's also very menacing in The Shape of Water as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed.
Oh, and his Eminem's stepdad.
Yeah, he was.
He's always kind of a garbage person in the movies that he plays.
I don't think Zod was a. This is so Zod obviously has a lot of history with Superman because Superman 2, like we're all familiar with General Zod, right?
Yep.
All familiar with the character. This is the first time I've ever felt that General Zod was just doing his job. And he was absolutely 100% correct.
Oh yeah.
And like honestly, the person who is fighting him is
they jokered us.
Yeah.
They made his side with the villain.
No, that's a point for them to come out the gate with a villain that ends up being in other comic book movies. I didn't say the M word. The reason we like them as well. They kind of did that before them. Where like halfway through the third act, I'm like,
oh, hold up.
I feel him. Wait a second.
It's not really his fault.
It's not his fault.
know?
He's literally doing what he was programmed to do. Like what he was.
Yeah, they're programmed at
born
birth to do a thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason he wants Superman is because he wants the key that was imprinted from the skull to bring his people back. He wants to bring his
Caleb,
people back.
I think the movie has spent a lot of effort making us basically know that Kryptonians don't have a choice. Like, and Zod was the example of that.
Yeah, sure.
He's programmed his entire life and trained for this moment. Yeah.
Also,
it's not even Stockholm syndrome. It's just like programmed. This is what you are. So
have we ever had a more detailed look at Krypton?
That was a pretty good one. Yeah.
No, and there was stuff cut out too, wasn't there? Didn't they have like the first 40 minutes of the movie on Krypton?
Interesting.
And then they cut it down to like 10 or 15.
Maybe.
If you watch the Donner Superman 2, the guy who made Superman 1 was halfway through Superman 2 and they fired him and got someone else. But you can go find the Donner cut of Superman 2. It's really weird and trippy. But there's a lot of Krypton in that movie. So it's out there. It's for public consumption. It's not that hard to find. A lot of people have seen it. So I will say we have seen this much Krypton before, but it wasn't like the theatrical release. So I'm just going to stop being pedantic, I guess. But it was a very detailed view of Krypton.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. Also, Russell Crowe. High
Russell
five
Crowe.
as Jor-El.
Right.
Yeah. Son of Jor-El. Kneel before Zod. Okay. So I give it a grade. I'll give Man of Steel a solid, very solid B.
Yep, same.
Wasn't flawless because of some of the illogical loops, right? Okay. And some of the time things fucked me up. Like Lois Lane appearing across destroyed cities from a cab.
That's her superpower. She keeps doing that.
Fuck you, asshole. That's not real.
Sure.
I'll give it a B for what else I didn't like. I didn't like the Jonathan killing himself. Cause like fuck your wife, right? Like fuck.
Okay, so
you built.
I want to clarify something as we move forward in life as critics. It's not that you don't like what the writers decided.
What the writers?
What the writers decided.
Oh, okay.
It's that you don't think it's logical.
Well, I think that, like I said, I'm in my when I think about why I don't like these things.
Yeah.
That's what I fall upon is like, this doesn't make sense. Yep. And that's why I don't like it. Like certain things make sense, right?
Trash, bro.
Like, I mean, that's the dumbed down way of saying it doesn't make sense. It's trash, but.
Sure.
What do you guys?
I can start with that. I would give it a B as well. And I would give it a B mostly because as cool as the third act is, it's something that's like, it's so hard to. I don't even know. It's not hard to fathom, right? Because we've seen large scale destruction in other things, but like a core tenet of Superman is his lack of commitment or his inability to kill people. It's one of the things that like defines his story for a long time in like comics until Zod shows up, and they decided with this movie to bring Zod first because they thought that, it would make him decide what kind of person he was going to be immediately, not like I'm a good guy and then Zod shows up and he's like, no, I'm a good guy. He's still fighting with it, and like trying to understand if he owes these people this stuff. So like I appreciate the final conflict with him and with Zod in an arm lock, but like I think Superman would have just feels like a person smart enough to be far away from people for this to happen. So like as the entire city is getting destroyed, I'm like, this is so antithetical to like Superman.
Yeah, he wouldn't let that happen.
No, he would be like, let's go out here. And like it just felt weird.
But also a kid, he's well, not a kid, he's 30.
Right.
Yeah, he's literally 30. But he's first fight. This is his first fight.
It's true.
It's true.
And this is something, and this is the first, like, he has been more powerful than anybody else he's ever been around for 30 years. And all of a sudden, these people come down, and he's no longer powerful. He's no longer, like, powerful.
Yeah, and it was not exactly a 1-to-1 fight, obviously because he trained on a farm. So like, one of Tech's favorite lines. But
Yeah.
so it's not like he was in any form of control, Caleb. Like he might not have just been able to like say, let's just go fight over here.
Yeah, maybe seasoned Superman does that, but first fight Superman,
Right.
But if you want me to believe that he's not controlled, but conditioned enough to hide what he does, that he won't save his own father, and then the rest of the movie he's going to be just flying around, hanging out with people, and blowing shit up in front of them. It seems like a character break. Now, given he gets his suit and finds out he's and starts flying around and doing crazy shit, but like the kid let his dad die because he didn't want people to see him, and then he destroys a city.
Okay. Ben, did you give your grade yet?
No, I'm gonna give it an A-.
Okay.
Why do you give it a higher grade than us?
Because a lot of Superman properties have been kind of dopey for such a long time. I like Superman Returns a lot. It's got Kevin Spacey in it. Like I said, I think Brandon Routh was a beautiful hat tip to Reeves. It's got great Superman moments where he goes up into like low orbit and listens and then goes and fights crime or whatever. Like beautiful moments, right? Plus the whole kid aspect. Anyway, it's not about that. Anyway, but I think a lot of Superman properties have been kind of dopey. This was dark and serious and brooding and very visceral and real. Like it just felt like a good, solid Superman story, Sure. So
all right, so A-.
I like A-.
Okay. All right. Well, I think they masterfully transitioned into the next movie.
Oh sure,
Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, that intro's the transition of the events of the first.
The intro's strong.
It's good.
It's real strong.
Now it leads
where me and Mom were somewhere the other day, and that was just on TV, and I was like, "We stop what I'm doing. Let's watch this."
Yeah.
As Bruce was like saving that kid and stuff. Yeesh.
Very strong scene. I loved how they split the visuals from angles, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, these are the exact things that happened in Man of Steel, but just from the street angle. I thought it was awesome.
It's like frame by frame, like when he like looks through the building, like you can see that exact pattern. It's so good.
It answers our question too. Like we're like, well, why the fuck are they destroying? They destroyed Metropolis. Like they destroyed the city. Like why is this okay? And
Batman's like, it's not okay.
It's not okay. like, yo, problems.
Yeah.
So Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. How did you feel about it?
I wanted a Batman movie before I got a Batman vs Superman movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they had to do it this way. I think it was a smart call because we know that it's a hard sell when a character has been used a lot in other movies, right? For fans, it's a hard sell. And I don't want to bring up another franchise, but
we're gonna have to get over that eventually.
It can go either way. If the movie is really bad, it's hard to reintroduce that character into a new movie, and if the character is really good, it's hard to introduce him into a new movie just by himself, just boom. So I think it was smart
for your average moviegoer or for you, because as avid comic readers, we should be like, so what? It's a new Batman, right? Just keep rolling with it.
As a man with like Superman tattoos, like. Yeah, I'm a bit of a fanatic, so it might be a little bit more, I don't know, like important to me, like that it's done correctly, and the same reason why we'll get into it later, but the same reason why they sprinkle in Joker instead of just having a whole full movie. I think they were following the same logic, where like you just don't know if it can handle like the scrutiny of it.
Yeah, see, but I hear that, and I understand that may actually have been a very strong portion of their decision-making process for the decision that they made. But like, I still can't escape the immediate reaction in my brain of, that's a cop-out though.
But is it though?
Like, because if you're gonna invest in a universe, you gotta have faith that you can flesh that universe out instead of jumping the gun and slamming a successful thing with another thing, hoping that will be successful, right? Like. I would have liked Batman vs Superman more if you'd explained why Batman's at this point, right? Like we have a Batman that's just straight up murdering.
We don't need
like firing guns and like killing people. And I need that. I need that explained to me.
We do not need another Batman movie introducing Batman. We do not.
No, we don't.
No, he's saying what got him to a murderer.
But we got like without
intrigues
bringing
me.
up the M word again. Without bringing up the M word again, we didn't need another origin movie of who Peter Parker was, and we didn't get that.
And we didn't.
We were just like, he's Spider-Man.
We did.
And he's hanging out. He's doing his thing.
We didn't get a Batman origin story. We got a very little small sprinkle, very small.
But the argument that we couldn't have gotten a Batman movie before this that didn't,
we didn't
have
need
to be
a
an
Batman
origin
movie,
story,
dude. I want to know
I
the
needed it.
adventures. I want to know. I love the fact that we got this 40-year-old Batman because he's 45 in this movie. Literally,
Yeah.
I did the research today. Do your research. And so he's 15 years older than Superman, right? Or about 12, 13 years older than Superman. And there is going to be, they talked, him and Alfred talked in the manner in which I was thirsty for what happened before. Like,
right? And I don't want a sequel that's a prequel. That sucks.
that's what we're getting from everything. Everyone's giving us prequels.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't like that.
All right,
I
so-
want you to introduce
I'm
something
okay
and move
with that.
forward.
Caleb,
You
give
can't make
me
Ben Affleck younger.
give me your Batman story, Caleb. And if you have his parents dying again, I'm gonna reach through the screen and strangle you. But
No,
give us
absolutely not.
your Batman movie real quick. Just
My Batman movie is very much what it sounds like we're going to get out of Ben or Matt Reeves.
hold on.
Like,
let me reformat the question. Give us a Batman movie that sets up Affleck's Batman, the one you wanted but didn't get.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So you've got a Batman that seems to have put down the cowl, right? I want to know what that event was because he's got a statue, a mannequin covered in Robin's armor that's clearly painted on by the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And that led us to believe that Joker fucking murdered the Robin that led him to
Jason Todd.
maybe it was Jason Todd, maybe it was Dick Grayson, whatever.
They say it's Jason Todd, and the reason they say it is because Joker has a J tattooed on his face.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
They
because
might be
Jason Todd doesn't become Joker.
Hey man, hey, bro, that's just the rumor, and I'm telling you.
Or you could have. Oh my God! You know what movie I would have wanted? Tech. No origin to Batman at all. I want Batman, Jason Todd, Red Hood, Joker.
Yep.
That would have been a fucking great movie where Batman's trying to find his kidnapped Robin, who's just gone, while Joker's toying with him, and then you time jump 2 or 3 years, and then this new vigilante comes in and is just murdering people, and Batman fights him, and you have that whole reveal that this is Jason Todd, who thinks Batman betrayed him and never came looking for him because he never found him, and now he's a murderous psychopath, and Batman has to fight a kid he raised in crime fighting.
Meanwhile,
And then when Joker's vanquished and he does whatever to soothe Jason Todd's soul, he goes, "I'm fucking done with this."
right.
And then it fast forwards to a fucking alien blowing up a city, and he's like, "Nope, got to put it back on." And that explains that Batman, who was fighting a guy with guns, would just be like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna start killing people
Right.
because I'm done with this shit." Like that movie's hard to make bad to me.
Meanwhile,
I'm so down.
Child Protective Services, he's got to fight them too because he's got a mansion full of children for some reason.
What?
Batman. Bruce Wayne has a mansion full of children that he just scooped up off the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he turns into crime fighters.
So okay, cool. You wanted more of the story leading into it, but I don't think they could tell that story. I think a lot of the you might be right. Like just like listening to you talk about it.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I don't disagree,
That would've
and
been
I do feel that a lot of the decisions that led to the unfavorable grades they're getting from everyone is because they were rushing. They were playing. Like,
That's
the
what
old
happened to
saying,
Star Wars.
You know the old saying that don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 40. I think
Sure.
that was a big problem for them. Now,
Do you think there's a problem for them or the fans watching them?
no,
or
for them,
both?
for them.
Both.
The way they move,
Okay, no.
the way
Yeah,
they
sure.
move. You know,
Yeah,
like
100%. They
their
tried to
decisions.
scale up too quick.
even this week. Did you guys know about Ben Affleck coming back as Batman? Is a rumor right now, and like so is like obviously Henry Cavill is still in contract. But it's a rumor. Like so, like they're in uncertainty because they're lost as far as trying to make a universe.
Yeah.
And I think they wanted to. I think Batman vs Superman, to keep it on focus, is the beginning of them trying to form a universe with good
Yeah.
intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But-
But they started with such an old Batman.
Improper delivery. I like the
Yeah.
old Batman because they started with the
I
old
do
Superman.
too. Okay, but how do you start a universe with the old Batman? Because the old Batman's the one that gives it
answer.
over to someone else.
I would
exactly. love Terry Guinness. I would love Batman Beyond to show up. Fuck
that was going to be my answer. You give it to someone else, but they obviously didn't do that. So
yeah, dude, Young Justice League run by fucking Batman Beyond and all the other heroes, while Wonder Woman and Batman and like the older heroes are like looking over them in the back. That's dope.
I mean, you could bring in Damian, and
you assembled a team of retirees.
How did you feel about Ben Affleck as Batman?
Loved it.
One of the best.
Yep.
One of the best.
So,
and I'm not one of those fair weather freaks that have changed their mind recently. This is the third instance of a parallel universe. First was Berenstain Bears, right? And Berenstain Bears. Second one was
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi was shit on. Now everybody thinks it's the best. Now we all saw Ben Affleck on stage almost crying because everybody hated the movie and his Batman so much. And now the fans want him back.
He was.
It's because they said Robert Pattinson and people can't see further than fucking Twilight. That's why people want him back.
No,
if there's an argument.
I think he was the strongest Bruce Wayne that we've ever seen.
I liked everything. Everything about it.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best both in the cowl and outside, because like that's the argument throughout the movies, right? Is that like Michael Keaton, great Bruce Wayne as Batman, okay. Val Kilmer, great Batman as Bruce Wayne. George Clooney, fucking mistake. Christian Bale, Christian Bale had good in both, but wasn't he was a great Bruce Wayne.
Christian Bale's problem was he got out. The first movie, Batman Begins, to me is not good. It's okay. It's not great, but he got out acted on the second one, and then the third one was just I don't know I don't know how to feel about.
I think he got out acted in the first one because Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow's great.
Yeah, I mean
he's just not in that movie enough.
Yeah, it's true. But that's not DCEU, so we got to stay away from that.
No, but talking about Ben Affleck, like if we're gonna talk about Superman being too small, like Ben Affleck's the first Batman that's big enough.
Yeah,
right.
He was perfect. He was
in
good.
the comic.
Frank Miller's Dark Knight.
In the comics,
jacked.
Batman can't scratch his own fucking back. He's jacked.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he's the first Batman that felt like he was fighting like Batman would fight. Christian Bale felt plastic as shit, but when Ben Affleck as Batman is in that fucking warehouse, just
that warehouse scene,
incredible.
That warehouse scene is #1 fight scene in Batman cinematics I've ever seen.
Yeah,
fight me on it.
Ooh, cinematics? So including games?
No, just cinema,
movies,
cinematics,
movies. Okay,
cinema,
gotcha.
not video game cinema. Not game.
There's
cinema,
a lot that
cinema.
can be said about that can be said about Christian Bale's fight as Batman with Bane on the steps. We're fighting with Bane on the steps when he knocks Bane. Yeah.
Oh no! Wait. On the third act
on
fight.
The third act on the steps when he's knocking Bane's like cords out and Bane drops into a boxing stance and they start fucking duking it out. That scene's really good.
I felt the way that was cut wasn't as entertaining as the warehouse scene. Like the cuts on the warehouse scene was it was like brutal, like the shit that he was doing to people. Like
when he punches that dude who like fucking spikes his head into the ground, and just fucking. It's so good. It's so good.
As a comic book fan, as a lifelong Batman fan, that was the scene that is #1, and #2 could possibly be the courthouse Bane scene, even though entertaining wise, the second act Batman Bane fight was better for me, even though Batman got his ass beat. I thought
that scene's so good because Bane just knows his book.
It's a comic book payoff.
Yeah. What's that line he says that you repeated the other day we were playing Apex? Where he's like, are we going to really sit here and play games? Bruce, and just says his name. And you're like, this guy's playing a different game.
What was that? I forgot. I know the line. I just can't remember how it starts. The theatricality and deceptions, powerful agents to the uninitiated. But we are the initiated, aren't we, Bruce? Like, it's so good.
It's so fucking good.
That's #1. That might be tied. Like, that's one of the best Batman villain scenes I've ever seen. But it's
very good.
Yeah. Okay, so Henry Cavill's a good Superman. Ben Affleck is a good Batman. Why does Dawn of Justice get shit on?
Third act. We do not need.
Okay.
We did not need. We did not need the whole supervillain subplot.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Doomsday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Doomsday was bad.
Isn't Wonder Woman in this movie too?
Oh, she's all through this movie.
What the fuck?
And
Wait,
that goes back to
all
them
these
rushing it.
people.
That goes back to them
dude.
rushing it. They're like they threw too much
100%.
shit in there, right? If they teased Aquaman, they teased Flash, like they were trying to, and
All
they
of it.
teased
They're setting it all
Darkseid,
up.
which Nightmare Batman was dope. Like that
Yes, it
sequence was dope as fuck. Even the Am I Too Soon? That's dope. If they commit and like that's a part,
yeah, dude.
that's a part of Flashpoint going forward. That shit's dope. Like that's gonna make that part way doper.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I felt like they were trying to do too much.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. And can I be honest? I did a lot of explaining for it when it happened, but like Batman hearing Martha and being like, "Wait."
Oh man, listen, let me tell you
Your
why.
mom's name?
Let me tell you
It was
why
my
it works.
mom's name?
Let me tell you why it works. Let me tell you why
Go
that
ahead.
scene, and I
ahead.
will defend this scene to the end of the days.
I did this for a long time, so maybe you can rekindle that passion in me.
When I
Go ahead.
left when I left the movie theater, right, and lifelong Superman fan, I have a Superman tattoo. Lifelong Batman, I have Batman stuff everywhere. Like I have literally huge Batman posters and the wall of Funkos of Batman. Huge fan. I had to Google Bruce Wayne's mother's name and Superman's mother's name. I never made the connection that their mothers had the same name. So my mind
really?
was legitimately blown when he said Martha, and I was
In
like,
the theater, I was like,
oh shit,
yeah.
oh fuck, like,
Oh
really?
no!
Like they bonded
That's
off.
funny.
Their moms had the same name, bro. The whole time I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, well, that was the first time that I guess Bruce saw him as a human, is that he has a mom like he
Yeah.
does, and their moms share name. That's how I would explain it. Like, man, this whole time he thinks he's fighting an alien fucking war machine,
Yo,
and then he realizes his mom's from fucking Kansas and has the same name as his mom.
Well,
And he
yeah.
was
Also,
his mom too.
there's probably not. There's probably not a moment where Bruce is not thinking about his parents. Like he's just.
oh my god, he's PTSD the fuck out.
He's eternally tormented.
oh my god, he's broken.
So
he's a broken.
So
person.
like the guy he's fighting says his mom's name. You might as well have said.
mid battle after he's winning.
Might as well
him?
have said his dad's name at the same time. He would have just been like, short circuit. I'm not fighting anymore. Right.
Two things stick out to me about that whole sequence, right? That's kind of amazing. That aspect of it, right? Like the fact that Batman won against Superman, like that is the Batman from the comic books. Like,
Yep.
Right.
He's got an answer for everything.
Given enough time and calculations, he will beat you. He'll find your weakness and he'll beat you. So that is Batman. So that was great. The part that stuck out to me that I really, really liked, which could have, I think, after this point, the movie went downhill, was when Superman said, "But my mother," and Batman said, "I'll get her. Trust me, she's safe." And Superman just trusts him. And like the life of his mother, which is all he has outside of Lois, he trusts her to save her, right?
Yeah.
Now,
That does make
I
sense.
feel
Go get her.
it does make sense, but like, what could he do, right? If they didn't have Doomsday, and the conflict was fighting Lex Luthor, just Lex Luthor, then I think the movie could have been better.
Yep.
And all that, like, if it's again illogical that Lex Luthor wanted kryptonite so Batman can steal it, but then Batman had to go steal it. That's illogical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if they both go on a quest to get kryptonite, Superman uses kryptonite, Batman uses kryptonite on Superman, they squash it, but then Lex Luthor has kryptonite, and then Batman has to find a way to beat Lex Luthor with a weakened Superman. That's a better movie to me somehow than if we have this Doomsday, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman flying thing. So I think that's where this
is
one.
it Godot or Godot?
Gado.
Gado.
She French.
Is she?
I thought she was
she's-
She's
Israeli.
like French Israeli. Like her.
Okay.
Yeah, her one of her parents is from one place and the other one's from.
That's how that works. I've always wondered.
Well, she's amazing.
You know, someone shoots Batman point blank in the back of the head, and he's just like, "Ugh!" It's fucking good, dude.
All right, so we only, just so you know, we're like
We're 45 minutes in, and we're
45
2
minutes
movies
in, and we only got 2 movies. So I don't know if we have to do part 1 and 2 on this.
Fine.
Maybe I can watch some of them before we do a part 2.
Hey, maybe. Okay, so let's give Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice a final grade.
There's so much good about it, though.
If
But there's so much bad about it too.
I really just think it's the third act, guys.
I do too.
Which is
they
a lot of
captured-
movies do that. What's the one you just watched, Tech?
So I watched it today, didn't I?
Yeah. What's the one you just watched today?
Oh my god, my memory's that bad.
The Shining sequel,
Oh yeah, Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep. Not a great third act.
It got better though. I just felt like, okay, Doctor Sleep. Side note, I felt like the unnecessary deaths to move the plot. I don't like that. But keep going.
Super 8, the J.J. Abrams Spielberg John.
Which was supposed to be a Cloverfield prequel. So that was a weird pump fake, but whatever.
Wait, which one? Yeah. Which one was supposed to be?
Super 8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cloverfield's universe sucks.
First two felt like a modern day Goonies. First two acts. Third act, leave it. Just cut it out. Just to be to be continued. So it's a writer's mantra that the third act is the most difficult. So, if your movie can't pull it off, then you don't deserve a good grade. But the first two acts are really great. So I don't know.
This is tough. This is probably the toughest one because it's so on the borderline, right? Like, the coming off of the success of Man of Steel. Man of Steel made $400 million more than it cost to make. So it's a successful movie. And
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but
their fight was great.
I
liked it. Their fight was great.
Their fight was the Batman versus Superman fight was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Okay, dumb line though. Do you bleed? You're going to, or you're gonna. That was a bad line. But
do you bleed? You will.
You will. That was a pretty bad line. Pretty cheesy.
I dug it.
Yeah, but the delivery was amazing.
It was,
especially after he wrecked into him like a light pole.
He turned the corner and he sees the Superman just standing there like that shit was hard. Okay. They third act fell apart. So what's your final grade, Ben? Let's give it to me.
B-.
B-. That's very generous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Caleb.
I'm a C.
You're
Solid
C?
flat C.
I'm between B and C. There's a lot of it I like. A lot of the movie I like. But then, first of all, you wasted Doomsday. And Zod was a great villain. Lex Luthor was weird though. Lex Luthor was my problem. Lex Luthor, the villain.
It's because they went Mark Zuckerberg with Lex Luthor.
He's force feeding candy into the guy's mouth is weird. He's playing basketball. That's weird. They
made him a Silicon Valley
douchebag.
Douchebag. And
but okay, I need criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
I need fucking playing chess when everyone's playing checkers villain.
I need Kingpin.
You didn't think
I need Kingpin Lex Luthor. I don't need Mark Zuckerberg Lex Luthor.
Oh, you don't think a jar of pee is criminal mastermind?
That's corny. And then he killed his assistant. Like, why would you kill your assistant? She looks a lovely lady. Like, she was right to die. And that was illogical as well. That whole subplot with the checks, with the weird scribbling on them that that was returned from the disabled guy in the wheelchair. That was weird. Like, you're trying to paint a villain out of Superman, I guess.
Yeah.
But not in a way that is logical. Like, when Heath Ledger did it to Batman in Nolan's movies, it worked.
Yeah.
He won. They hated Batman. They never stopped hating Batman. He was never again considered a hero.
Right. Yeah.
The villain in Batman vs Superman is illogical. He did illogical things the entire movie. His character was not well thought out, and he wasn't a mastermind. He was just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, the whole go down there and work on this alien ship. No one would do that. No government will let you do that. No matter how much you flexed or you tweaked or you paid off. Like, I'm not gonna let you do that, dude. That's a fucking alien.
To clarify, or I guess to go back to something real quick, her name is pronounced Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no French. I was wrong.
I knew that too.
It's Israeli?
Yeah, definitely Israeli.
Yeah.
She trained the Israeli Defense Force. She was a sports trainer for the Israeli Defense Forces between the ages 18 and 20.
Yeah.
Damn.
She's from a country where everyone has to serve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how we're gonna. We probably have time to talk about one more movie.
That's fine.
We can, or we can do a couple real quick.
I like this conversation. I want to do a part 2.
Sure. Well, if we do 4 this episode, we can do 4 next episode.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get to do 4 this episode.
We could just get right to it next time.
Yeah.
You know, cold open, we're in it. We're
All
just, we know, yeah.
So
And I've got 5 movies to watch in the next 2 weeks.
well,
Damn.
that should be fine.
Yeah, I haven't watched Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey. I didn't get to see Birds of Prey because it was in the theater, and then quarantine happened.
I actually saw it.
and
That's
another
like, oh my god, is that the last movie I saw in theaters before the quarantine? Maybe.
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember we talked about this once because you were like, "How long has quarantine been?" And you were like, "I saw Birds of Prey this many weeks ago."
Yeah.
And that's how I know when it started.
I would say this. I would give a grade a C minus. So I gave Batman a B, and I give Dawn of Justice a C minus. They rushed it. They did too much.
Wow, that's almost.
It passes. It still passes. I passed my driver's test with a 70, bro. Your boy's
Right.
still driving. Right? Your boy's still driving. I didn't take it again.
And you're not a menace out here. So.
I'm not a menace. So my problem, the reason I'm giving it a C minus, it definitely can't get an A or B out of me. So it has to be a C something. But Lex Luthor, Doomsday, and even Wonder Woman's involvement kind of ruined the movie for me.
I didn't mind it because they were setting up what was to come. All right, one more movie, right? What's the next
Did
movie?
they give us a flash of Darkseid too?
They did, and that's the problem. They
Yeah.
pump fake with
Like,
Darkseid.
what the fuck?
That was the
guys,
worst pump fake, dude.
I got good news for you.
Yeah,
The Zack Snyder 6-part miniseries, Justice League Snyder Cut, looks like it's gonna have a lot of Darkseid in it.
Yep,
So
which is what I want. That's a
How did
that's
he-
a villain.
Yeah.
I think they have like 6 hours of footage, Caleb. I think they.
How did
filmed
he
a
film
lot.
that much for a single movie? That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um,
Also, Darkseid's like throwing Thanos at the Justice League in the second movie.
Yeah.
Say that
Darkseid's
again?
huge. Darkseid is like throwing Thanos.
Yeah, I see what
at
you're
the,
saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
in the
like
second movie.
world
Yeah, but
ending
so
villain.
was the guy that killed Superman. That was way too soon. It's like our
Yeah,
second movie,
yeah,
and
exactly.
we're killing him already. Come on.
Scaling. They're all about scaling too fast.
Mhm.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide
2016.
Squad.
Oh,
Or
okay.
as a YouTuber said it. What did he say? He said Harley's Quinn Hot Topic merchandise adventure. That's really good.
Let's start with what we liked.
Manic
What did
Pixie
we
Dream Girl
like?
the movie.
I liked Jared Leto's Joker
Yep.
a fucking lot.
Yep.
Yes, dude.
Yep.
He was
Yeah.
a fresh
He
take.
was on screen for like 90 seconds, but he was fucking great.
Every time him and Harley Quinn were on scene together, I thought to myself, I need this movie.
yeah.
He is the 2015 gangster with or whatever year that came out. 2017.
16, yeah.
The-
Like with Rick Ross as a soundtrack, like he
Purple
is
Lamborghini with the Skrillex
Right.
and Rick Ross. What are we
Right.
doing, dude?
Right.
I was ready for it. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed Will Smith a lot.
Yep.
I feel like Margot Robbie is
Margot
Robbie.
Robbie is Harley Quinn level of Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool.
Yeah,
Like,
she's perfect.
I didn't feel that way until Birds of Prey.
I felt that way in Suicide Squad.
I did not.
She
I
was
feel like-
Harley Quinn, dude.
Yeah, I feel like Suicide Squad could have. Well, I'll go first in my diagnosis.
Well, you gotta say what you like.
Hold on, you gotta say what you like.
You gotta say what you like.
One scene of Floyd Lawton, played by Will Smith as Deadshot, where he gets picked up, but his kid's with him, and he's like, "Not in front of my kid, man." Like, I'm just like, that was very human. Of like, oh shit, like he does bad shit and hates that he does bad shit, but like it's how he keeps paying the bills.
See, that was
And he loves his kid. And that to me was like, all right, I like his humanity.
That's the level of character development that you want in a movie, right?
Yeah,
Like that moment
100%.
where you've already seen Deadshot do badass shit, right?
Yeah,
Then you
he's already
realize
like fired his guns and shit. You're
he's a
like,
dad. And
Yeah.
but Batman still got to get him, and Batman's like, oh, you know, like I don't want to do this, and like, the
and he's
kid-
like, just you let my yeah, let's.
that was
No,
a
it's-
dope, that was a
it
really
was
really good moment. What else was a good moment? I liked the
I
character.
loved El Diablo coming out, and
I
I'm
liked-
like, why the fuck didn't we see more of this?
That's what I was gonna say. He was dope. Like his
I
character.
was like, oh shit, let's go, Mayan fire god, let's do it. And then like that was the only time we saw it.
I
Okay.
liked where they were going with Enchantress, but the problem was the character development of Enchantress. I don't want to talk about the problems yet. I liked
Yeah.
Enchantress. The scene where she flips hands was dope.
Yeah.
You cannot find. First of all, I'll just say this: you will never be able to find a better actress to be a villain than Viola Davis. She is one of the best
she's great.
actresses in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
In the world.
I watched a lot of How to Get Away with Murder, and that show's incredible because of her.
Nothing she did in that movie was wrong. I feel like it was a movie filled with good choices in actors, except fake Tom Hardy.
Who they killed right away? Boomerang? Yeah.
No, they never killed him.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No, he's
Wasn't
actually
he the guy that tried to run away right away and that got exploded?
no. That was hang loose news guy. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that was the Indian guy who was his rope was his thing. I don't know what the fuck his shit was, but I'm sure he's a character from comic books.
Oh shit! Hang on, I thought that was the same
Slipknot.
dude.
His name is Slipknot.
All right.
But
right.
yeah, but fake Tom Hardy, you know. But so I feel like the cast was solid, right? I mean, Will Smith, Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman is a good actor.
I
Yeah.
love Joel Kinnaman.
I love
He's
Joel
great.
Kinnaman.
Viola Davis, great actress.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who played El Diablo, he did a good job.
Yeah.
The dude who played Killer Croc, he's a really good actor, and I felt really bad.
Killer Croc is dog shit.
I felt really bad that what happened to like how they played his character was
Yeah.
really bad.
Problematic.
Yes. Yes. I want BET. Fuck out of here, dude.
Fuck out of here.
I like Cara.
I like Cara Delevingne a lot.
Cara Delevingne. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
The rest.
Oh my god, I don't know if I knew that fucking Killer Croc was Adewale Akinnuoye. Like that guy's great.
He's a great
How
actor,
the
dude.
fuck was he? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Fun fact: Scott Eastwood is an actor in this movie, which is Clint Eastwood's son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a Naval SEAL.
Yeah, he's a guy in the background.
Yeah, he had a couple lines at least.
Do you know he's one of the Mandalorians? One of the 3 Mandalorians?
Didn't know that
sorry.
either.
When they filmed Mando, they used 3 actors. They used a guy for like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu capoeira hand-to-hand stuff, like he did with Cara Dune. And then the gunslinging stuff is this guy, Clint Eastwood's. John Wayne's son.
Yeah, it's John Wayne's kid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Right. No, right. Anyway,
Fun fact that's wrong.
you could see the confusion though.
Yeah.
Funny fact.
Yeah.
Fun fact that's wrong. So yeah, it had good actors. Let's talk about the bad now, which is going to be a lot.
Everything else.
Okay,
let me tell you the budget.
Is the story bad?
The budget, yes.
Yes.
The budget was 175 million. It brought in 746.8 million. Excuse me. So it was a successful movie.
Wait, what was the split? Say it again.
175 was the budget.
Uh-huh.
Box office is 746.
Yeah.
So worldwide,
nice.
it's successful.
Yeah.
Was the story bad?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because it was about the wrong people.
it was.
What's the story? Give me the log line. Right? What is Suicide Squad about?
It's about a villain hiring villains to save her from a new threat in a city.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't really. They didn't create enough friction
Yeah.
in the storytelling for the payoff. Like,
You know what? The villains weren't scary enough. Like if these are villains, I was not terrified. They just like goof offs that just got caught up in the system or something. But they, like, it didn't feel like somebody was at risk for them being out of prison.
yeah, like
Sure.
the main villain against the world is Enchantress, right?
Yeah.
And her brother, but like, and the problem is they tried to force the same plot twice almost, and the same delivery of the plot, right? So like this thing comes and it wants to take over the world, so it makes it like their world. Well, that sounds like Man of Steel to me.
Right.
And this is like the same iteration of that. Whereas this thing comes undeveloped. We don't know much about it. We have no connection to the person that is captured by Enchantress. We have no fear of the Enchantress, right? Like they didn't set up a past story that would have been. And they did the same thing with Steppenwolf, and that's getting ahead of ourselves. Where Steppenwolf just wants to come and turn Earth into his world. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of plot point but it's undeveloped. It's underdeveloped. At least with Steppenwolf, at least they tried to say, well, this is what happened in the past, but like
was it Themyscira and all that stuff? What's it called? Themyscira, the Amazon island, whatever.
Yeah.
Like he had a history with them.
Yeah, like but with this Enchantress, it's just boom there. Like now there's this creature
Every-
here that's tearing shit up in a subway and transforming the world with his beam. Like
Nolan had plans for Joker.
oh yeah.
Nolan had plans to keep Joker going.
Yeah,
And the M word movies had plans with Loki. That's why Loki's still around, and he developed into an amazing character. Right? Villains need time to grow. Every time any of these movies that we've mentioned this whole time, including Star Wars, makes a throwaway villain, you get throwaway results.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, right? And I think DC tried to go into this thinking, everyone has a villain problem. How do we develop villains in our universe? Well, let's do the Suicide Squad, a movie about the villains, because now, if they do a movie afterwards, say it is successful, say everyone liked it, and we get a Suicide Squad 2, we already know Harley Quinn. We're good with that.
That's not a bad theory.
Now we know Deadshot. So he appears in a Batman movie as a villain, and it's Will Smith. We love it. We're going to love it.
They just established a shitload of villains.
They just established 5 villains, like El Diablo.
So
like El Diablo, right? Like Doom. Like that's fucking boom.
Yeah.
That's a villain. Amanda Waller. That's a fucking villain. That's a level. Imagine in the future it worked, right? When alternate universe it worked. Amanda Waller and Lex Luthor versus Batman,
right?
Or Superman. Like
sure.
They team up or something crazy like that, right? And they hire Deadshot, and then like they even had a pump fake for Deathstroke, like all these things started aligning. Like it was a good idea to develop villains this way.
Yeah, I feel like there was a huge missed opportunity in this movie, and I'm sure that one could argue that there's many opportunities that were very good, very widely missed. But to me, and what I thought we were going to get, because they talked about Joker in every fucking trailer, is that like Harley got locked up, Joker didn't. Harley's in the Suicide Squad, and they have a task to go do. But what the movie's really going to be about is Joker trying to get his girlfriend back from the government. And you know what I mean? Like if the main bad guy of this movie had been Joker trying to get Harley back, and Harley trying to get back, but also not get blown up by the fucking explosives in her head.
Or not get back.
Or not try and get back.
Because
toxic. A relationship dichotomy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I thought that was a movie we were going to get. And like, if it had been, I think we would have been all happier for it.
Yeah.
But instead, I can only echo what everyone's been saying. Instead, we got a movie with a bunch of villains that were somehow less fleshed out than villains who were literally dropped on us in previous movies. And as we will see, future movies, and the movies about them. Right? And like the only real character moments we see are like Diablo with his girlfriend for a second, and Deadshot with his kid also for a second. And no, we don't have ties to anybody else.
Yeah, we don't know why Killer Croc is Killer Croc. We don't know why.
And he's a pushover. And Croc in the DCEU is a fucking force to be reckoned with. And also,
terrifying.
And also, he should have been CG and 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
Because Croc is huge. And like why they went with like, oh yeah, just put a bunch of makeup on him and small teeth.
Yeah,
what?
He looked bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Croc's one of the most terrifying villains, I think, in all comic books.
The only thing I think of when I think Croc, not the only thing, the first thing I think of when I think Croc is in the intro sequence of Arkham Asylum. You're walking into the Arkham Asylum with Batman, and Croc is being led by 2 guards. And the 2 guards are holding the chains that are holding his hands together, and they don't come up above his waist.
Yeah.
They're like holding this giant beast, and he's just like walking, and it's like, oh yeah, this dude's fucking, he's a threat with a capital T, maybe in all caps. And
he was really good in he's good in just about everything, to be honest. But so wasted opportunity there.
Suicide Squad felt at the end of Suicide Squad, I felt the same way I did at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I was just like, who the fuck was this movie for?
That's exactly what I said after Spider-Man 2.
That movie ended, and I was just like, who? Why?
Which one? Spider-Man 2?
The one with Electro, with Jamie Foxx as Electro. Yeah. Ugh. It had Electro. It had Rhino in the last 15 seconds. It was so much, and at the end, I was just like, "Well, why?" And that's exactly how I felt about this movie. I
Let's
went,
give
"Yeah."
let's give Suicide Squad.
I love Paul
A
Giamatti as
final-
Rhino though, but anyway, yeah.
Let's give Suicide Squad a score. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It had really good parts in it, really good characters.
I think you could say good moments. I don't know if you could say a whole part of the movie was good.
Oh, the Joker's and Harley Quinn scenes were all great. The Joker Common scene was great. The Deadshot, both his scenes were like with his showing his power, and then the one with Batman was great. The conversations were good between him and Harley Quinn. They definitely had the best back and forth. Will Smith had a funny line when Amanda Waller comes back around. He was like, "You're still fucking alive? Like, how are you still alive?" So they had good moments. Good moments. A couple good parts. I will say I have to give it a D.
Give it that D.
Gotta give it that D.
Gross. Gross. Hate it.
I don't want to give it an F because I did like Jared Leto and I did like Viola Davis, and it introduced Harley Quinn, which is the first time we've seen her in a movie. It was, you know, I'll give her that. I give it that. So that's why it gets a D, not an F. What say you guys?
Yeah, it gets a oof.
D plus.
It gets a D minus for me. Ben, go ahead and explain your D plus. Why'd you give it more credit than Tech did?
I don't know actually. I don't know. I have a really hard time just flunking a movie. You know, is it completely irredeemable? Is it completely unwatchable? Would you never watch it again?
I've watched it once, Ben.
I bought
I watched it one time.
Yeah, but Caleb, you also haven't seen
you
many of
haven't
the
seen,
others.
like 4 of 8 movies.
And let
Right.
me defend myself for a moment in saying that I've not felt motivated to see those movies because of what I've heard about them. And I saw Suicide Squad and had no motivation to watch it again. I've had opportunities to.
I hear you.
But
you're not wrong.
Amanda started this movie and was like, "You want to watch it?" And I literally said no, and cleaned the house while she watched Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And if I catch the last 15 minutes of Captain America, I'm stopping. So like, yeah. I'll take it on the chin that I haven't seen the rest of these, but not watching this movie a second time. No, there was a reason for that.
I think this is a fantastic place to stop because if we do a part 2, which we will do next episode, we start with Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And you have to see that.
You have to see that, dude.
Yes, 100%.
Very good.
I would have watched these. I didn't realize this was our topic until yesterday, and I tried to watch some today.
Oh yeah.
And my day was just shit, so I did not get to watching anything today. But now that I know, I apologize. Now that I know, don't worry. Part 2, I will come in a DCEU scholar.
So, all right, so you haven't seen Wonder Woman. You've seen Justice League, right?
I've seen most of Justice League.
Wow.
I got interrupted the first time I watched it, and then I resumed from a spot a little more than a few seconds after where I left off the first time. Well, there's a chunk in the middle I'm missing.
You have the Max HBO, right?
Yep. That's exact. I have Wonder Woman pulled up on HBO Max right now.
All right, cool. So you'll be able to see these
All of it. Is Harley Quinn on there now?
No, it's not going to be.
It's not going to be? Why not?
No, because it's too recent.
Oh.
Talking about Birds of Prey? Yeah, they're still making money off of it on DVD release, so they're not going to have it on here.
Oh, so I might have to rent it from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's worth it. It's great. Amanda might like it too. It's very good.
And Ewan McGregor's in it, and he's Roman Sionis, and like that's a DC villain I've wanted to see for ages because Black Mask is dope.
Yeah, he was dope villain. We'll talk about that movie as well. So overall, first 3 movies.
We got B. I think B's across the board mostly for the first one.
So B, C's, and D's
for the second one, and D for the third one.
So we're trending.
And I've been the most forgiving, which contrasts our opening statements. So
true.
Yep.
Interesting. I enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
I did too.
I look forward to part 2.
I do too.
Let's do wrap ups. Don't we have a specific wrap up theme?
Yes. Plug something. Tell us.
What do you want to accomplish in the next 2 weeks?
And what do you want to accomplish in 2 weeks? Yeah.
Cool. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Go for it.
All right. Tech Supreme, as you know. I had a really cool thing happen to me today. So I made a post last night about organic followers, and someone tweeted me and said, "I've been listening to your music for 15 years."
Damn.
Someone I don't know. It's like I've been a fan of your music for 15 years, and they're it's like I never get on. I only got on Twitter. Like I got on Twitter and followed you when you got on Twitter. I don't tweet. It's not my thing, but I just want to let you know that. And then they sent me a picture of them holding up, with just their hand holding up one of like maybe my first release ever that I don't even have anymore, called Tech Supreme Real Hip Hop Volume 1. And I was like, incredible. What in the fuck? Like, that's crazy. So that was
shit.
Yeah, that was incredible. And I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna rip it and send it to me because I don't think I have it anymore.
I'm so excited about this. I want to hear that shit.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be like 2002, 2003.
Yeah,
maybe? It's gonna be bad.
Let's do it.
It's so bad.
The boy was 11.
So that was dope. My focus for the next 2 weeks is obviously business, but creatively more YouTube videos from the stream, more streams. Very close. I'm 2.4 or 2.3.
You're right there.
So
you're in the money zone.
I'm close to being affiliate on Twitch. So that's when I want to. In the next 2 weeks, I think I should be able to get it in 2 weeks. I don't know.
No, yeah, you will. You will. Keep it up. I've noticed your pattern, and you'll be right. You'll get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm enjoying the growth on streaming, and I keep seeing this thing. I'm off the rails, but Ben, I think you'll feel this. You too, Caleb. I always see people who have quote unquote made it or got to a position, and they always make a tweet or something. Certain people do this where they say, "Oh, you can." I saw something today that said you can buy all the equipment you want. You never be a successful streamer.
I saw that.
Like, what the fuck? Why would you
you're
a shit person to tell someone that?
And then she said you can't buy a personality. That was the subtitle.
Yeah, but it was just a weird thing to me, like a very negative thing to say.
Yeah.
It's a very useless thing to say in that phrasing. I think the positive way to say that, the let's not continue to shit on each other 2020 way, is like get your stream looking right, but work on your stage performance.
Yeah, that's like you have the Harris Heller way, right? And he's just like, he'll let you know, like, if you want to be successful, you have to have a personality. You have to be able to talk to one person in your stream like you're talking to 1,000. And that's a much more constructive way.
That guy is the most constructive fucking YouTuber I've seen in a long time.
Dude, I love how positive he is, you know? But then let's say like you'll never be successful. And I've seen people do it in music all the time, and like this like condescending and like shooting down people's dreams. And I don't ever think that's a positive way to be.
I think it's also trendy to shit on streamers right now. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I know a dude who just
it's funny to make fun of people's dreams for being a streamer.
I know a dude who just got Twitch partner this week and like does not have the best equipment. You know, like
there's that too.
It's like
must be really fucking charming.
Just grind, dude. Just like fucking hustle and don't knock anybody. That's not how you. Whoever that person is, like I'll never respect that person. Will knock someone else. You know, like imagine, because I've definitely reached places that other producers want to, and haven't reached places that other producers I know have. And I will never shit on anyone who hasn't reached a certain level, dude. Like I want to encourage every producer to be their best. Every graphic designer to be their best.
Especially people starting out. I hate people like, I want to do a thing, and like people that are doing it are like, okay, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
I put years into this, and it's like, yeah, what?
Don't gatekeep,
like,
you son of a bitch.
When someone's like, someone buys a camera and they're like, I want to be a photographer, and someone's like, fuck you. I've been doing it for you. What? Shut up.
Right.
You were that kid once. And I always hate when people like try to use where they are to be like, I got here with hard work, and you think you can just do it? But fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Every kid who starts doing something literally starts with that mindset. So,
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's just my rant. Sorry.
You're good. That's a noble rant to have.
I saw
to get
that
out.
right before we got on here, and that really fucking pissed me off.
Chapped your cheeks.
It did.
Really chapped my ass, he says.
All right.
Hey, man.
Who's next? Someone tell me something.
Caleb asked me once if he should start drawing, and I discouraged him from doing it.
And I never tried. It wasn't even drawing. I said, what if you did all the inks and I just like colored them for fun so it would have a unique look, and you were like, fuck you.
I don't even remember that part of that conversation. I just thought you were tired of waiting for someone to illustrate your stories, so you just wanted to do it on your own. And since
No, I
then,
wanted to help you. You were like, fuck off.
I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember that aspect of it at all. But
in the same breath, though, like you can also, as an individual, not let what one person like if one person tells you not to do something and you listen, you didn't want to do it to begin with.
Oh, when it's a fleshling idea and you're like, well, what if I did
But
this? And someone's like, the
hardest thing
it
to
wasn't
do.
like it wasn't like a motivation. It wasn't like I want to become this.
Mhm.
It was like an immediate response to Ben being like, I have to do this much work for the first half and then this much work for the second half. And I was like, or
Well, here's
for
the
the
thing.
second half, you could let me do it. And it's not going to look professional, but like that's a style.
see,
right?
Caleb, I remember an entirely different conversation where it wasn't about that at all. It was you wanted to pick up art or try to learn art.
Well, here's the
No,
thing.
I'm not that dumb.
Here's the thing. No matter what, though, like
Memory
one of
is.
the hardest things to convince someone is an idea they have. Like if someone has an idea, it's hard to take them out of that idea. And like, Caleb, you want to be a writer. No one can tell you not to.
Sure.
Right. No one who can tell you not to. Who can convince you not to be a writer?
I mean, there's probably a point where you reach where like you've
If you
tried
give Neil,
everything.
if you give Neil Gaiman a script and he goes stop,
Oh,
you're done.
well,
You should not let that be. That should not be.
no,
that should not be it.
that wouldn't do it. That wouldn't do it. It would
No
hurt.
no one
It
should be
would
able to
hurt
stop
100%.
you.
But that wouldn't do it.
No one
Yeah.
should be able to stop you from getting what you want, from what you desire.
Except for these police.
No. You said the police?
Yeah, I was making a dumb joke.
Okay.
Ben, what else you got?
As far as my portion of the show, I might have a game on Steam soon called Void Speed Outlaw.
When you say
game.
I might have a game, are you a game developer now? Like, or your
I will
artwork?
be making the art assets for a game that's already in development.
Awesome.
But I will be the solo artist on this project.
Awesome.
Right now, the assets are either something the designer put in or something he placed in, like a placeholder. So yeah, we'll be partners, basically, me and one other guy.
Okay.
So that might be on Steam soon. Of course, I won't be able to shut up about it when it is on Steam, but that's what I'm working on. We're still working on Butcher Queen right now, but it's just follow me on my social media if you want to see updates. But otherwise, that's the news. What I want to do in 2 weeks, I just got a shitload of commissions. I want to take care of all of them. I want them all gone in 2 weeks, fresh slate, because I tend to put things off. So that's my goal.
Awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love
For
what?
sure. Yeah, there's how you can find me. Love Wub everywhere. And you can find this podcast and everything we do on nerdybits.com. That's for the shout outs. In the next 2 weeks, I've got two things. I just took my MacBook and my old microphone over to my grandma's house so that we can continue recording our podcast. That's been bugging both of us a lot, and it reached a point where yesterday we both reached out to each other like, can we fucking do this again? And I was like, yeah, I'll bring my shit over. So that's awesome. So be excited for more proc gens to come out, especially with Halo Infinite news coming this month and Halo Infinite coming out this year. We're going to finish that series and move on to our next series. And then number two thing to continue working on in the next couple of weeks, I finally started, and I think last time we talked about this, I started my my building sets in Forge. And it took about an hour and a half to get used to the controls again, because Forge is deep. Like there's movement and manipulation, and then you hold the left trigger, and the whole controller changes. And if you hold the right trigger, the whole controller changes. And if you hold both triggers, the whole controller changes. Wow. So like they put a lot of work into making your controller the most utilitarian tool that you've got. And I've thought about downloading it on PC just to do it through there. But I started building a set and prompted Tech to download it when he saw it, because he was like, this is dope. And I was like, we could do it together. And he was like, oh shit. And then Ryan also downloaded it so we could work on it, because Ryan and I were the ones that reminded me that I should be doing this.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll see where that goes. I like what we've got so far. So
dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Thank you for listening. Go to www.nerdybits.com for more information on how to support us through our Patreon.
And through our thread list. All that good stuff is there.
Yeah, and what else? Yeah, that's it. Thank
it.
you for listening. Share it. Tell your friend. Just tell a friend about it. And we will see you on the next episode where we go into part 2 of our DCEU conversation.
Yeah. Woo.
And we see you next time. I love you.
Bye bye.
Adios. Ciao, ciao.